This is it, heroes. Start your mission.
Why were superhuman powers, the meta abilities known so casually as quirks, forced upon our kind? These quirks bring about nothing but tragedy. They are not a blessing on our world, but the beginning of its end. We humorize must take action. Even if it means dyeing the earth red with blood.
Your leader's gone. Search the premises.
I repeat, Humorize has placed bombs around the world. The weapons are set to explode in 1 hour and 52 minutes unless the heroes are able to find and disarm them worldwide.
Heroes, success or failure of this task rests on your shoulders.
This is it, heroes. Start your mission.
Go!
This way! Protect the heroes, our friends, and the world.
You humans are being threatened by the sickness of quirks. Gravely afflicted, you are beyond our help.
I won't give up! Because Deku would never give up!
All right. Welcome back,
Yeah.
everybody. If you have tuned in to our My Hero Academia, I guess it's a bit, at this point, we're doing a whole other episode and then some.
Yeah.
My Hero Academia review of season 5, and y'all tuned in to the movie. We're here talking about My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission, the third movie in the My Hero Academia series. So what I want to do is, first, let's do a spoiler-free review.
Sure.
Let's talk about it spoiler-free. It won't be too long because there's plenty of spoilers that we can talk about. But we got access to this movie beforehand.
We did.
We got to review it.
Yeah.
Very recently. We have thoughts, which we're going to talk about throughout the rest of this episode. But right now, we can talk about how we kind of feel about the movie with no particular spoilers on the plot or anything of that. How did you feel about the movie?
So much blood, loved it. Love it. A lot of blood in this movie, guys.
No, you're right. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of blood in this movie, which is different than the regular My Hero Academia jazz.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I would say, all right. So in terms of talking about pros of this movie,
Yeah.
I would say the pros is if you come to My Hero Academia for fighting, you have come to the right movie.
You're here.
This movie has probably some of the best anime fights that I've seen all year.
It's jam-packed and everybody's involved.
Absolutely. Everyone is involved to an extent. But everyone is involved. But if you really came here to see the top 3, you know them ones.
The poster said it all. The original poster said it all, really.
The original poster said it all. If you came to see them ones, you get more than enough action because they are getting into it in this movie, and all 3 of them have fights that are incredible.
Yes. Hardcore.
We get introduced, of course, to the villain, Flecturn. Not the best villain name, but hey.
No. Not something I can stand. But
not even the best looking villain, to be honest.
That's true too. But
yeah, his name, and but he comes, he does his thing. There's a lot of for the. I love the moment where Deku becomes a national terrorist.
That was awesome. The tides have turned. It was one of those situations.
But overall, I would say the movie is, listen, if you're a My Hero Academia fan and you come here to see the fights and you come here to see the plot and you come here and see how they will overcome such, tune into the movie because you're going to want to watch this and you're going to want to see how everything kind of goes. But other than that, if I had to say a con from the movie, it would honestly be the villains. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in our not spoiler-free review, but I would honestly say the villains, in my standpoint. Do you have a con in this movie, Jeff?
So you said the villains, like just them as like a main. I thought it was like
Spectron's kind of ass, to be honest with you.
Okay, so here's my thing: the whole ideal Like the that premise of, you know, just Quarks being like not something that we need.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying not to spoil this shit. But like the main antagonist,
right?
I mean,
has a quirk,
bro, and it's a OP one. Like it's one of those things where you're like, well, bro, how could you possibly be standing behind this?
Well, listen, the majority of these movies, and then you see the majority of these villains, and it even ties into the Meta Liberation Army arc kind of thing. If Flecturn could be Redestro's like, yo, fake cousin.
Yeah,
type
yeah,
shit.
for real. You could definitely get them mixed up.
You got Nose, you got a blue, you got blue, you got a little stuff.
Blue.
So you can see that definitely it's an attack on Quarks and Quark society. And of course, the Quark singularity theory, which is ravaged. And, you know, I like that My Hero Academia has this one thing, this Quark singularity theory that is splitting the way people view Quarks and their ideals about it and stuff like that. Like, people are clearly on one side of stuff. It's like, listen, Quarks are going to become too strong and overtake society. We need to end this shit now. And there are people who are just like, no, but like Quarks are like, they're just the norm now. So like, and everyone's different and everyone's unique and everyone has their own little happy clap story.
Even people who don't believe in Quarks have people who have Quarks in their circle though.
Right. You got a best friend that has a quirk. Have a quirk. You know,
because you got to be protected somehow.
Absolutely. Keep that thing on you.
That's right.
All times. Overall, you know, the movie is an adventure. It is it's over. It might be over an hour and a half. It's definitely over an hour.
It's like
and
145, bro. Something like
absolutely.
That. Yeah. I like it though, dude. I like the movie. I thought it was cool. It was fun. It's definitely something I want to see in theaters.
So make sure you guys go out and see it in theaters when it comes out October 29th.
I'll put a lot of money up on it.
Now that we're out of the spoiler-free zone, we're officially leaving the spoiler-free zone. If you got what you needed, if you want to go see this movie, hit up Fandango. I'm sure Funimation.com will also forward you to how you see the movie. I'm sure any other place will forward you how to see the movie. But if you have not seen the movie yet, and you want to come back to this when you have, please note that we are leaving the spoiler-free territory right now.
It's over. We talking about
it
it
is
now.
your chance to turn back. Don't stay around and say, I can't believe they spoiled the movie for me. We are giving you proper warning. This has been 15 seconds of stalling and a warning about telling you about spoilers. We're about to spoil this movie right now. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Let me loosen up a little bit. I'll be honest with you. So I'm traveling, baby. We traveling.
In this one.
For me, I think this highest points, like I talked about earlier, was the action. And I think that when I talk about some of the best fights that you're going to have throughout this entire year, I think Bakugo's fight is actually probably the best fight of the entire year, or one of the best fights of the entire year.
Okay, against the little chain. How about to say chain user?
Little chain guy. Yeah.
I was about to say chain user. It is by far the best fight in this motherfucker, bro. I thought it was the hardest. It's probably the hardest I've seen Bakugo like on some just like, oh, okay. He's going like to the point where, you know, he's outnumbered. I don't know if it was like a clone situation or if there was just two. I don't think they really specified. But anyways, he had to go against two of these motherfuckers, and they're pretty strong. They were also off that stuff. Okay. And Bakugo was literally giving them everything, also using techniques. I love the little grenades and against the wall, made it explode. I thought that was awesome. And then, you know, his little power up it's just really, really fun, explosive stuff. The shirt torn up and blood all over, you know, he coughing up blood and shit. It was wild, bro. It was wild. I thought it was really impressive. And yeah, it's probably the best fight.
Absolutely. Todoroki comes in second, and then Deku's comes last for various reasons. But we'll get back to that when we talk about this movie. Let's talk about the beginning of this movie, which I thought was also some sick shit. The movie kicked off with this terrorist attack that gas shows up through this entire city and starts like do people start manifesting quirks, or do our quirks just start going out of control?
I don't know which one it was. I just know the first guy got turned into a fucking turtle, and I felt really bad for him. Like, I was just like, okay, because I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know if they were just gonna be killed or that. But I was like, oh, they're turning everybody into an animal. That's weird. But like, it wasn't that. That dude just happened to turn into a turtle.
This was like, when they talk about terrorist attack, I was like, yo, they went all in for it now, because that is a terrorist attack. The way they opened that movie, they don't usually open movies like this, to be honest with you.
No, it was full-fledged terrorist attack. And then the one guy that survives, they, oh, congratulations, you just watched everyone else die. You've been chosen.
come with us. Clearly, the quirkless society of you have no quirk. Come with us. You think you'll enjoy it here. And for some reason now, in response to this terrorist attack that has happened, the Japanese heroes.
That's right.
Not should we call them the European force of heroes? Should we call them the American heroes? Should we call them the South African heroes? Nah, the Japanese heroes are all around the world. I guess because this is a crisis that affects the world. Hence,
the UN came together and said, we need heroes. Call them
we
all
need
up.
heroes, especially them Japanese ones. Make sure you get a couple of them.
They're the strongest.
So everyone, I think, mostly everyone. I think the only people who aren't featured in Ida isn't in this movie. He's on a couch.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah.
What was he doing?
Ida is in this movie. Couple other people, but they got, listen. They got the big teams. They had Asui, Uraraka, Kirishima. I think I saw, who else did I see? Momo. I think I feel like
Momo was there.
Momo.
Momo's definitely.
Couple other people. Also, let's talk about this in the beginning of this. The little tease at the beginning. So you know how we've been getting a lot of promotional material with them in the suits, and they in the suits for only the first 6 minutes.
That's it, bro. I'm glad. I'm so glad, because I was gonna bring it up as well. Why'd they do that, bro? Because the suits are hard. I think they jump out the plane with them and do their action scenes? Yeah. And that was about it.
Yeah. Bye-bye suits. If you love them suits, I mean, it's going to be great cosplay, but at the end of the day, they were in 6 minutes of the movie. So they're brought to the fictional European city of Otheon, which is wild. I love a good fictional city.
What a name for a European city.
From a real country. They come from a real country, but have to go to fictional European city Otheon. To essentially find out the headquarters of the person who is trying to do all this stuff, and they barge in and they don't really see anyone, but they know that there's certain things that they have to look out for. Now, in the midst of this, Deku manages to stumble onto the movie exclusive character, Roddy.
Why you say it like that?
Because
the movie exclusive character.
Rhodey? Is it? I thought it was Rhodey, right?
Rhodey.
It's Rhodey.
Rhodey, what was his last name?
I don't remember. Rhodey, all right, My Hero Academia.
It was something unique.
Rhodey Soul.
Rhodey Soul, that's it. The Soul family.
You know why I say it's so heavy movie exclusive character? Because I remember the first movie where we meet, they go across the world to America and meet the scientist who was the sidekick for All Might. And you're like, oh, they could incorporate that in the anime. That would be cute if they, she shows up in the anime a little bit later on. She doesn't show up, but that would be cute. The possibility is there. In the second movie, you have like Nine, for instance, who has a little bit of All for One in him. And he was like, he could show up. He's probably not going to show up, but he could show up in the show if he really, really if All for One really needed him on deck.
He could pop up.
Yeah. Rhodey Soul. Not a chance in hell he's popping.
Damn. No. You know what's crazy? Yeah, I mean, I just love that his court. Usually, they'd invite him back to school, man. Hey, come to school with us. Lead this country, bro. Pull up.
Not even Ophion.
And they were like, you know what? You keep that shit over here. They need you.
He's 16 years old.
He is.
He was born February 13th. So he's an Aquarius.
We love that. We love that.
We love that over here. He's part of the Soul family. Yeah. He has a little brother and a little sister, and he commits crimes because he has to.
He's from the bottom right now. Yeah, you gotta get it done.
So he's sent to give this briefcase to somebody, and Deku's essentially like, yo, why are you running? They're like, yo, stop this guy. And Deku's like, oh, a villain or something along those lines. I must chase them. So he chases them down. I think they stop the other two villains, that Todoroki and Bakugo stop the other two villains, but he's after Rhodey's soul. And Rhodey's soul doing all types of flips and dances and tricks and falling from the sky and doing all this other stuff like that. And they stop him. Police run up on them. But now, Deku's like, yo, why y'all... Deku approaches the cops. The cops is like, yo, stop. And they got their, guns out and all this other stuff. And yo, why y'all trying to shoot him? Like, he's just
relax. You know why? Wrong.
He hasn't really done anything wrong. And they're like, yo, you put your hand down too. And then he's like, oh, nah. I got Black Cork. I don't need this, man.
Don't worry about this shit, man. Why y'all doing this?
So he escapes. And that is how Deku becomes the national terrorist of this entire movie.
They said my man was up for mass murder, bruh.
The police are corrupted in this movie because Fleck Turn's people has also invaded the police department of this fictional city.
My hero telling it all.
Listen, Deku and Rhodey now have to escape to the nearby country so they aren't killed or caught by the police. But they also have something, a briefcase, which is supposed to have, what is it going to have? Diamonds, quirk bullets, types of stuff. Just a bunch of papers and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know what this shit is.
But they eventually find out. I mean, so from here, the plot is very, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. When does it turn up? Like, that's what I kept saying. I was like, okay, when does it turn up? Like, where do we?
Yeah, what are we getting to? Like, what does it all mean right now?
But nah, they just on the run. So they're on the run the entire OTR, on the run for pretty much a majority of this movie. At least the first half, the first two acts of this movie, they're trying to escape. They're going to nearby towns. There's little disguises.
Sleeping in
There's
caves.
A musical number.
Yeah, just a little one. I respect it.
I was like, okay, it's a movie.
You got to give us one at least.
We learn eventually. I mean, here's the thing. So they see the report that Deku's like this national terrorist. The thing is, like, no one truly believes it. Like, no one who actually is close to him. And the only people who are close to Deku in this particular city are Endeavor, Bakugo, and Todoroki, because all the other heroes were sent to various other countries to do various other things.
Right.
So it's world hero missions. It's all over the world, but it's really focused on this place because Deku's there. So eventually, Bakugo and Todoroki find Deku. And they're like, yo, what have you been doing, man? You've been running, you've been on the loose and all the jibber jabber and stuff like that. And they knock something in this damn briefcase and they find like the jump drive or something.
Yeah, that was a really dope scene, by the way, like the fight scene leading to that moment.
It was really, really good. Again, the fight scenes in this movie, top notch.
Yeah, they go a lot of destruction too. You get a lot of dust.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cliffs being broken. It's a really good action.
You clearly see where the animation budget for season 5 went.
Yeah, there you go. You called it. I didn't really notice until you said that, but yeah, you're spot on with that shit. It was like, man, look,
but
that's
still,
money tied up.
Great fights, great action. they learn the history of what they learn what's on this thing, and essentially it's the flash drive to stop all these bombs from going off in various cities, because that's what Fleck-Turn has. Fleck-Turn's like, listen, y'all got, I don't even know what the time was, y'all got a couple hours before I let go all these bombs in the city and everyone quirks start going bananas, you know.
Is that what you want?
And the only place, the only place to stop it is to obviously go to the headquarters to stop it, which is in some, villain headquarters, some cliff or some underground.
What did Bakugo say? He was like, "It's the only place they're not launching an attack from." It's like, okay, good job, bro. I'm glad you got that.
Logic, man.
Logic.
So all three of them, not Endeavor, by the way. Endeavor does not go with them. This is another case of the movies where
this is what I be talking about, bro.
I'm staying out of it.
You guys really are heroes. It's like, yeah, bro. Yeah.
So Endeavor and them, they gotta figure out what they're doing in their own part. It's like Endeavor is like, yo, I'll fall back. You guys go find Deku or something along those lines. But then the kids are like, actually, we're gonna go infiltrate this thing ourselves, and we don't need Endeavor or any of the adults or anything rather. And they go in and they gotta fight all the villains that are leading up outside. And these people have quirks, or maybe they don't have quirks. Some of them do, some of them don't.
It is what it is. Good luck.
They're fighting their way through in. So Bakugo takes the people on the outside, and then I think Todoroki takes one layer inside, and then of course Deku reaches the big bad. Fleck-Turn. His quirk is
fucking mirrors all over the place. He reflects everything. I mean, he reflects everything, guys.
Everything. He flex everything.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
He flexes everything. Everything, every attack that you have gets launched back at you, which I was like, oh, that's not okay. Well, I guess we haven't had that. Yeah,
it's a walking trap card.
There you go.
You know,
there you go.
Mirror Force.
And then Rhodey, who was captured by the villains at some point because he is his dad's son, and we learn about the dad's history, that the dad was some scientist who was pressured to make all these evil things to kill him, and then they kill his dad for essentially insubordination of trying to stop them while also working for them, or something of the rather. And we learned that his dad dies, or at least he learned that his dad dies.
Did you ever think the boss was the dad at any point? Or no, you were like, nah.
Could have been, but you know what? I think they're done with the double switch thing after that first movie.
Yeah, that's real.
The first movie where the hero was the villain, and then he got shot by the actual villain. So I think they're done with that. But Rhodey manages to infiltrate, and we learn about what Rhodey's quirk is. And Rhodey's quirk is that little bird.
The little bird. The little bird shows his true emotions. That's why he can technically never really lie.
And he is
true intentions.
He was a little bit embarrassed by the quirk.
Sure, who wouldn't be?
The quirk, the little animal's named Pino, which is hilarious.
Pino sounds just like Togepi, and it really pissed me off. That was probably the worst part about the movie. I'm here to say that. I mean, it sounds literally just like Togepi.
Pino's actually, I think it does stand for something. Let me see. Okay, all right. Well, don't look on Urban Dictionary, but Pino stands. He shows the real emotions of Rhodey, and Rhodey's soul and all this other stuff like that. So, once we get to the end, Rhodey ends up saving the day. Deku manages to overcome everything kind of in a way, and everything is wrapped up in a nice little bow. And it's a great feeling that you have towards the end of the movie. I thought overall it gave me a great feeling towards the end. The heroes that you wanted to see all the bombs get stopped, but then you get to see glimpses of the other heroes in other countries.
Yeah, trying to stop them. Yeah.
You see, actually, a number of the heroes they just introduced within the recent manga chapters are featured in this movie, which is
crazy.
Wild.
Just seeing them.
Yeah. So when I saw them, I was like, oh, I big popped. I was like, whoa. Um, there's a hero. I think his name is called Red Dot.
Mhm.
And he was just introduced within the latest chapters of the manga, but he's in this movie. And then of course they have Godzilla appearance. I popped big for Godzilla.
Yeah, I got your text. Man. I was like, oh, this thing watching.
Godzilla, baby. Come on. But I think overall the movie it's great.
It's really fun. It's really fun. I think it's a good watch, especially because the last 45 minutes is action.
Yeah, it stands alone because truly, unlike of course, we've gotten so much used to now that that Demon Slayer has broken the mold and made canon movies.
We are there.
So there's a lot of stakes in this movie, but the stakes don't actually apply to the actual real thing. No one dies. All this movie takes place within the realm of the actual season of the show, so nothing can really be killed or nothing can really be brought back. So
blood though.
Lots of blood.
Lots of blood, guys.
Yeah. Listen, the fights between I wish I had all the things here, but obviously they don't spoil the movie yet on all the synopsises and stuff. However, the fights are really good. Todoroki's fight is really good. Deku's fight is really good, and Bakugo's fight is the best.
Like really great individual things, and they're all different from each other. None of them in the same way, which is nice. It's not corny,
Right.
It's all like them reaching a new limit to their powers too, which is really dope.
Right, and this is kind of the first movie that really. It did feel like a movie. Don't get me wrong. It felt like a true movie. It's just the fact that there are no like external stakes from this movie.
Mm-hmm. Like it's over. It's done.
Problem. Yeah, it's just over. It's done. None of these villains are going to be brought back. None of these things are going to be brought back. But overall, I think it was an enjoyable experience. And if you go see this in theaters, I think it was designed for theaters just based on the choreography of the fights, the amount of effort they put into these fights,
yes.
The animation budget that went into this, the choreography of the fights, very fluid.
They did a beautiful job telling the story that they had to tell. And the best part about it is, when they leave to go their separate ways, it feels like a proper ending. Like it makes sense. It's like, okay, there's nothing else I need from this.
Right.
You got everything that you needed in the hour 40, 45, and it made sense. That was important.
Little boy's life. This obviously Rhodey's.
That's right. Deku made a change.
Yeah. So, real hero stuff, man. Real big hero stuff. World hero missions for me. Yeah, it's quite an experience. It's an experience. I think if you want to go see it in theaters, I definitely recommend go seeing it in theaters. But I think everyone, especially if you're looking for action within the My Hero Academia thing, which I think we got a lot of in season 5, but maybe if you didn't get enough of, the top 3, you definitely want to see this movie.
Right.
Because I've been touting it, but the action of this movie is probably. They do well with all movies, but I think we haven't really seen Bakugo, Todoroki, and Deku
being
really
highlighted.
Spotlight.
Yeah.
There's no one to save them. There's nothing. It's all on them, which is amazing. It's a great development.
It is.
Any final words about the movie, sir?
I think they wrap it up very well. I think it's interesting. I think you can watch this even if you're not into My Hero or never seen it, actually. I think you could turn this on and be like, that was fun. I think that was kind of like the big thing I got from it was it, like you said, it felt like a movie. And to me, what that translates to is anybody could watch it. And I kind of feel like that's the difference between this and the Demon Slayer movie, even. I feel like the Demon Slayer movie is just going to work more episodic. And we discussed that too when we spoke about it. And I think you can't just throw anybody on that. They would kind of be like, like it's a lot to invest in. This is it's fun.
You know what?
It's clean.
I have people though with the Demon Slayer movie. They started with the movie, and then I was like, "Oh, I should get into the series."
Really, damn, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. That shit's heavy, bro.
Yeah,
this shit's heavy.
Things happened in the movie. That's why I wouldn't recommend it doing it the other way. I would recommend it watching the movie. But things happen in that has a large impact on the movie that you probably.
It's just so heavy. Yeah, you could turn this shit on and be like, "Oh, this is an anime movie." You know, I don't know what the series is, but it works.
Absolutely. Again, this My Hero. I think you said it great. Where this movie feels like a movie, and then also feels like if you're not even a fan of the My Hero Academia series, or you haven't watched it yet, you could plop yourself into this movie and kind of understand everything that's going on. They play out who's important. They give you a lot of different options for a lot of different heroes that you see throughout this entire movie. Mm-hmm. You still get the Ochako and Asui. You still get the Kirishima. You still get Hawks within this movie. Albeit they're not featured as heavy as Deku in this movie. Deku is probably in most of the scenes in this movie compared to everybody else. It is a good movie.
It is a good movie.
So I'll leave it like that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for Funimation for allowing us to sort of access this early bird review. Mm-hmm. If you see the movie, feel free to hit us up at the Lookout RNC on Twitter and let us know what you think, or hit myself up at Meelz TV and Jeff at Old Newsboy and let us know what you thought about the movie. It comes out, of course, this Friday, October 29th, in theaters everywhere. Let's continue to support anime movies so they can get made, and we can continue to get them in America, and we don't have to wait 17 months for the dub.
Yeah, that's right.
Or at least any type of not even just the dub, any type of showing in America. We don't have to wait 17 months. Let's continue to make anime movies, popular. There's another one coming out. I think the One Piece movie is coming out soon.
Yes.
Make sure you support that as well. And we got a lot of stuff on the horizon, so make sure you continue to support anime stuff, especially in America, and these movies and stuff, so we can continue getting them.
Very important.
And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Follow the Lookout RNC. Don't meet us there, beat us there.
Yeah,
we'll be back next time. Take care.